Okay, good evening, teacher. Now I'm going to talk about the culture in the Amazon case. So, as well stated in the lectures, the culture is the way society is conformed by its norms and their values. In this specific case, in the Chinese market, the culture turns out to be very important to Amazon because not only the culture is really different from the United States and the base Amazon culture, but also the language, the religious views, the norms, and the values of the society. Thus, the culture turns out to be a really important piece. As the lecture states, culture can be seen as an onion, which has layers, and those layers are the ways that the society and the culture is formed. In Chinese culture, we know that they are used to be intervened, to be taken into account, and to be, as I was saying, intervened by the government of this country. Because even though they have this kind of popular society, popular democratic society, it's well known that Chinese nowadays and back in the days was ruled by a totalitarian, but is and was ruled by a totalitarian government. Thus, the way that Amazon tried to appear in this market was difficult because they had to adapt to the rules set by this government and by the people because not only the government has a huge power, but the people give the government huge power. Cases like except in cases like Hong Kong, but in the rest of the cities, the Chinese acceptation towards the government is really high. Okay, so to complete this idea, uh, censorship is a thing in China, and they have a sort of culture towards it. So to Amazon was very difficult to try to introduce new products and new services because, as well as I have said, a Chinese government tries to take control of everything in every aspect, especially in the market, and also tries to support more their locals economies and their local enterprises than the foreigners. An example of this is the Alibaba and the Dangdans, where they where we can observe that the Chinese government tried to help them more than Amazon, and also Chinese people like more Dandangs and Alibaba because they are Chinese. They don't like that much of the outsider intervention that Amazon was trying to implement to them. So we can see how even though Amazon was introduced and has a relative success in the beginning from 2004 to 2008, then when the market starts to copy their system and people have to choose between two services that were equal, they tend to use Chinese Chinese products and Chinese services because they like more their own country, their own than outsiders enterprise, as I was saying. Also, in this case, we can see how Amazon reduced their market levels towards the it was expected that Amazon has almost the 12% of the e-commerce in the Chinese market, but towards 2016, it reduced drastically to 1.2%, and people didn't seem very concerned. Um, as as an Western country would seem, because Amazon to a Western country like United States is very important daily to the daily life, to the lifestyle. Because now with Amazon, they can order their different products, their different TV. I mean, the catalog is so big that Amazon is almost everything nowadays to Western countries, but to Eastern countries and to Chinese country, in this case, Amazon means almost nothing because, as I was saying, they prefer Alibaba and Dantang that almost present the same model and the same products. I mean, taking into account the Chinese policies and the Chinese leader policies, but is what people like and what they expect. In this case, religious matters are not that much important because in China there's no quite a unique religion. I mean, they can practice some Buddhism, but most of them are atheists. I mean, the Chinese leader is an atheist, so they try not to pressure religion towards the people, but also they don't allow religion to get in. That's why cases like Muslim, they don't like very much the Muslim people, and they try to banish the Muslims from Chinese. But that's another topic. So culture in China to Amazon was a really huge impact because Amazon, even though they make their studies, wasn't prepared and wasn't really prepared to face what they faced because Chinese culture was so much different to the Western cultures, in language, in the government intervention, and in many others. So culture was a huge factor that affect and plays a major role in the Amazon case because, as I was saying, culture is one of the main factors that made that Amazon declined so drastic.